Hey guys, welcome back to another flashlight comparison video, and today I wanted to compare a couple of Brinyte flashlights that I recently have reviewed, and some of you might be wondering which one to get, so I thought this video might be helpful for some of you. So let's have a look firstly at the E18 beam, and you can see the overall construction here is pretty good. There's no flaws, no inconsistencies in the machining at all. You've got the side switch button here. It's a rubber side switch button with a nice blue accent. You've got that same blue accent on the bezel. And this interesting knurling design that I've not seen before as well. Looks a little bit futuristic, tessellates, okay? And I also like that you've got these couple of attachment points for the clip. So I've just moved the clip down there so I can have it as a sort of deep carry clip in my pocket. So just the tail shows up. Now, one difference is that the E18 comes with an SST40 LED as opposed to an SFT40 in the HL18. So the SST40 produces a little bit more floodier beam compared to the SFT40 in the HL18, which is geared more towards the throwy end, long distance performance. The E18 also has a TIR lens. Okay, so with the TIR lenses, I do find that they don't produce that much spill unless you step the output up to maybe medium mode onwards. So that's something to keep in mind. But it does a really good job in focusing the beam, and you'll see later in the beam shots just how large that hotspot is, but still, projects all the way down to the end of that golf course. The UI is pretty easy to figure out. Press and hold to go into moonlight mode, press once for memory, and just press and hold to ramp up and go back to the beginning. You can also double press, triple press for strobe, and triple press again for the SOS mode. You can also lock the light by clicking 5 times. So it's a very intuitive UI, and this is the type of light that if you're someone that just doesn't want to be figuring out the UI and wondering how many clicks to do what, this is great, especially as a gift to someone as well. Now, going over to the Brinyte HL18, this is probably one of the most unique lights that I own. It's got this articulating head. Articulates 90 degrees, as you can see here. Very comfortable to use. You can use it in the pocket this way as well, sort of put a magnet on the end so you can mount it somewhere underneath the car, that kind of thing. The overall construction is on par with the E18 theme. Even the anodizing is pretty similar. And the knurling as well, they're using a slightly different design, which I like. So both of these, it's always hard to differentiate yourself in the flashlight market, given that there's so many brands out there. And the SFT40 also produces a lot of spill, just due to the sheer amount of light this thing puts out. So for those of you who are thinking, okay, maybe it's too much of a long range light, actually you can step it down to maybe the lower or the medium modes, and very acceptable to use up close as well, especially if you're going out for walks. Like this accent and the design of the bezel reminds me a little bit of a file, but there's no sharpness on it at all. You've also got these 2 attachment points for the clip here on the side. Side switch. So the UI is pretty much exactly the same as the E18 theme, but this is something that's different. You need to use a magnetic charging cable for the HL18. So there's no proprietary charging on this one unless you take the battery out, charge it separately. Both of these lights do take non-proprietary 18650 cells though, which is a good thing. Here the E18 just comes with usual USB-C charging. This is the headband and the headband attachment that comes with the HL18. So it's quite simple. You just basically attach it like that, okay? And it articulates more or less, or close to 180 degrees. We're going to shift that over to the front first so you can see there, wearing it on your head. That's about the level of articulation that you get, which is pretty good. I like the mechanism as well. I do see a few other headlamps that offer this kind of different design where they've got these rubber rings there. I really don't like them. It's fiddly, especially if I want to take the flashlight out. use it for something else, I'm just less inclined to do so because it's so annoying. Whereas with this one here, all you do is just have to pull it out. I mean, it's just so simple. It does take a little bit of pressure to remove and install the light, but you do want that so that it doesn't fall out accidentally. And the band is just a one-piece band. There's no section there going on top of the head. Some people do like that. Adds some extra stability, but I do find that this headband is able to support the weight of the light pretty well. I haven't had any issues. There's also the Brinyte logo here, which is made of some reflective material. So which one should you get? This is a really tough call. For me, I would rather get the HL18. Now, I'm a bit of a long distance flashlight nut, so having the SFT40 in there, that does it for me. The E18 still has really decent throw, and with the SST40 paired with this smaller TIR lens, I mean, it is competitive with the HL18, but especially when you start out on turbo for both these lights, you'll see the HL18 just smokes the E18. But I do find, though, that over the long run, and you'll see in the tests as well, the E18 actually holds its brightness a lot better than the HL18, just because that there is this articulating head which reduces the heat dissipation. So another consideration, like I mentioned before, is just that proprietary charging that you have on the HL18 compared to the normal USB-C charging. So if you want something that's maybe a little bit more convenient to use, if you don't want to carry around too many cables, the E18's your best bet. So if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll also leave discount links to both of these lights down in the video description, so go ahead and check that out. If you have questions too, just comment down below and I will get back to you. If you like the video, do me a favor and click the like button. It's pretty much one of the few ways that YouTube recommends my videos out to other people. And if you want to keep up to date with the latest flashlight reviews and news, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be comparing the Brinyte E18 to the HL18. And on turbo, this is the Brinyte E18 to the left. And on the right, got the HL18. And you can already see there's pretty significant difference. Okay, the throw on the HL18 is significantly more, just lighting up those trees to the back. Okay, and because of that TIR lens as well for the E18, you see that it's got more of a kind of smoother beam profile. The hot spot sort of blends into the spill, whereas the reflector of the HL18 is just giving this light a little bit extra throw. But let's see, I want to have them both on for a while and see what happens after a bit of time. I mean, I'm still betting on the HL18 to just maintain some of that throw. Okay, but I mean, you can see here, probably up a bit closer, it's easier to see just on the ground. The hot spot, both of the hot spots there, and the HL18 is just a little bit more concentrated than the E18. But honestly, after the step down, they're pretty similar, surprisingly. Okay, like pretty similar. I mean, I've got that E18 here, HL18. I would even say that the E18's producing a bit more light. In fact, even though the hotspot is more diffused. Alright, let's try on this tree here. That's the E18, HL18, E18, HL18. Again, pretty similar. Let's look on this tree here. E18, HL18. Alright, so they both step down. Once they both step down, the throw on each of them is pretty similar, but I have to say the E18 is definitely producing more light, and that does make sense in hindsight. I mean, given that it's just got better heat sinking you know, that the head of the light doesn't move around like the HL18. Okay, let's turn them off and reactivate turbo again on both. All right, and there you can see that. There you go. You know, that HL18 again. It's just out throwing the E18. So yeah, if you do want, I guess, a more larger hotspot diffuse beam, still decent throw. The E18's pretty good. It doesn't step down as hard as well because it's able to handle the extra heat. Okay, but if you do want that extra throw and the versatility of that rotatable head, the HL18 is, I mean, that's pretty amazing for a headlamp, I have to say. Like, to be able to throw that far. And the fact that it has that rotatable head as well. Brinyte E18 theme to the left and the HL18 to the right, both on turbo. Okay, HL18, look at that throw. And the E18, which is still very respectable, managing to reach right down to the end as well. But you do just get that extra range there. You can see the smaller tree trunks right at the back. Look at that, side by side. You can definitely see that beam is just more focused. Yeah, but as it starts to step down, as the HL18 starts to step down, I do find that they begin to just even out in terms of candela. So throw. Both of these would be very handy as walking lights, but if you want a larger sort of hotspot or wider beam, I think the E18's a better option. As you can see, the HL18's got much more focused beam, and it steps down harder as well, as you can see. The HL18 there compared to the E18. E18 going pretty strong. Okay, can reactivate that turbo again, as you can see, which is a good thing. Brinyte lets you do that. A lot of those larger flashlight companies sometimes, not to name any names, don't allow you to do that.